Hey guys, Moneyman300 back for some more videos, and this is my first official Forza 6 video. I know I did a few of the demos, but first official one since the actual game is out for those that have the Ultimate Edition. And this is about the first thing that you should do in the game after they make you race like the first. I think you have to race the first two races, the first one and then the one where you pick your car. You might be able to break out of that one. But anyway, I did those two. Exit out and come fix your dead zone settings. I'm going to go through that here again. It's pretty similar to what it's been. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Let's go over here. Saw the cool Subaru 22B. That's the first car that I went ahead and picked. But come over here to your options and go to controller, wheel. Also, if you are a manual with clutch, you should switch your handbrake and clutch. I just have, this is all default right now, just so I could show you guys. So you're going to want to do that also. It threw my shifting way off in the first race. It's like I couldn't figure out what's going on, and that's because this wasn't set. So come in here, do that. You can switch anything else you want. But come into the advanced area here, and you see the steering axis, dead zone inside and outside, your acceleration, dead zones inside and outside, and your deceleration. These are the ones that I'm going to adjust, and I'll explain a little bit about what each one of these is. So your steering axis, dead zone inside. This is where the controller, your left thumbstick, your steering thumbstick, and as it sits in the middle is how much dead zone there is before it actually starts steering. For me, 24 is way too much, and it feels sluggish and unresponsive. So I like to bring this way down. You can go down as low as, I ran it I think at times at 0 and 100 in Forza 5. This is going to depend a little bit on your thumbstick. If you have a thumbstick that's a little bit loose or maybe a little bit older and tends to be slightly off center, you're going to want to keep this up a little bit. I'm going to take it down to 2. Just so it just gives me barely just a little bit so that, you know, if I'm resting my thumb on there or something like that, it isn't steering the car. So I'm going to take it down just a little bit, and then I'm going to bump the outside, or your outside dead zone, which is when you are at full steering lock, when you have the controller all the way to the side. That's how many degrees of dead zone you have at the other end of that spectrum, when you have it all the way right or all the way left. So I want to be able to use the whole thumbstick. I feel like it gives you a lot more granularity and control over the car. So I suggest you take that at a minimum, bump this one down. You can go 5 and 95. Some people go 8 and 92, 10 and 90. You know, somewhere in there. You might play around with a little bit. Try 0 and 100, see if that works for you. But I highly recommend you make that change. The next one you should make is in the acceleration axis dead zones as well. This is your throttle. This is the finger you use the throttle on, and it's the same principle here. Your inside one is the start. You know, it doesn't until you start pulling the trigger. You got about 15 degrees, assuming you have 100 degrees all the way from start to finish. You got about 15 degrees there of nothing, and then it starts to kick in. I don't like that either. I'm going to bring that down to the same number that I do on here, 2 and 98. Again, I want to use the whole thing. Having just a little bit there is fine, but I want to use the whole thing. Now, if you have a controller, if it doesn't feel like you're getting to full throttle, it could be because maybe your controller doesn't register all the way. Again, it might be a little bit old. Take this down to 95. Maybe you bump this up to 5. I'm going to start 2 and 98 on these, and then I may adjust if I don't like the way that it feels. And then the last one that I will make an adjustment on is the deceleration, which is your braking. Same thing as the throttle, and I'm going to set the same, right? I don't want to have to pull the trigger down about 15 degrees before my brakes start to engage. I want it to happen right away. So I'm going to do the same thing on that. And then those are the dead zones that I'm going to change. I'm going to start with these settings, and again, I'll play around with it to see, you know, if there's anything else I need to do. The clutch doesn't matter if you're using a controller. Unless you've got the clutch on one of the triggers. If you've switched it to that, then it would matter. But otherwise, since it's just a button on the controller, your dead zones don't matter at all. Same thing with your handbrake. The handbrake is just a button, and unless you've moved it to one of the triggers, these don't matter at all. And then your vibration scale, I leave that at 100. I like to feel the vibration and the haptic feedback. It helps me to know what the car is doing. So I'm going to accept that. And I'm going to get down and go racing, but I want to get that out there right away for you guys. I think it's one of the most important things that when you first get in here that you should do and get set up. I think it's going to help you feel more control over the car and help it not feel so sluggish. So this should be all good. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.